Let's see. With what is a woman? I saw this earlier today and I was like, yeah, we gotta watch this shit because someone literally asked him the fucking question.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Like, it's so stupid.
Canada's Prime Minister says that they will be implementing retaliatory tariffs. You said if that were to happen, that you would be responding with large-scale tariffs. Will you be following through with that promise?
Well, absolutely. But we had a very good conversation. Mark called me today at 10 o'clock. We put out a statement. We had a very, very good talk. He's going through an election now, and we'll see what happens. But we have Liberation Day, as you know, on April 2nd, because, and I'm not referring to Canada, but many countries have taken advantage of us, the likes of which nobody even thought was possible for many, many decades, And, you know, that has to stop. We're going to end up with a very good relationship with Canada and a lot of the other countries. Some we probably won't. It won't be so pleasant. But I think most countries are agreeing with me. They actually, many of them have actually apologized. They said, look, we have taken advantage. And I don't blame them as much as I blame the people that stood. In this case, I can say the men, because so far they've been all men, haven't they? But the men that sat right there and behind the Resolute desk, mostly the Resolute desk, you know. I don't know if you know, you have a choice of 7 desks. The Resolute is the one I like, but some chose other ones. But they sat right behind a desk right in this location, and they let our country be hurt very badly. But I didn't do that. So, but we had a very good talk.
Talking about
Prime Minister and
Biden.
myself, and I think things are going to work out very well between Canada and the United States. Yeah, please go ahead.
He sat right behind this desk. Right behind this desk, right here.
How is the talks with India or tariff going on? And what is expectations from India? How much do you want them
Well,
to
as you
raise?
know, Prime Minister Modi was here just recently, and we've always been very good friends. India is one of the highest tariffing nations.
Dude, what is going on? Apparently, there's like a lot of journalists coming abroad and trying to get like statements and shit. What? What is happening?
in the world? You know that. I know. Thank you for shaking your head, but it's brutal. It's brutal. They're very smart, and he's a very smart man and a great friend of mine, actually. And we had very good talks. I think it's going to work out very well between India and our country. Very, very well. And I want to say you have a great prime minister.
Mr. President, there's been a very serious earthquake in Burma, Myanmar today.
Myanmar.
Up to several hundred killed.
Oh, sorry,
The military regime there has asked for help from anybody.
Yeah, we're going to be helping.
You are
We've
gonna
already alerted the people. Yeah, it's terrible what's happened. It's
Ah!
We've already spoken with the country. Okay, please.
Mr. President,
Rip
Mr. President,
broadcast.
yesterday you asked Representative Stefanik to stay in her seat. Can you explain your reason for that? And did it have anything to do with the tight polling in the Florida district that former Representative Waltz held?
Well, I think we're doing, I think we had, as you know, we have a few elections going on. And she is phenomenal, number one. She is a friend of mine, and she was going to go to the United Nations. And I said, look, there's a lot of room for doing that or something else. But she's very popular in her district, and I didn't want to take a chance. I don't even know who else is running. I assume somebody else would have been running. But if she runs, she can't be, you never want to say can't be beaten, but I think can't be beaten. She's very, very well-liked and very smart. And I said, Lise, would you do me a favor? We cannot take a chance. We have a slim margin. We don't want to take any chances. We don't want to experiment. And she polls like I do. I won her district, as you know, by a lot of points. And she also does very well there. When it comes to Florida, you have two races, and they seem to be good. It's a Trump plus 32 area. The one thing is they're spending like $12 million, and our candidate doesn't have that kind of money, spending much less than that, like maybe 1/12, about $1 million, a little bit more than $1 million. So the airwaves are blanketed. And you never know what happens in a case like that. I won it by 32 points, and it's very, very strong. It used to be Democrat, but when I came along, they liked me for whatever reason. You'll have to explain that, but they liked me, and we're way up. But you don't know what happens. 2nd District, who seems to be in pretty good shape, but likewise, he's being outspent about 5-1. So we don't want to take any chances. So I went to Elise and I said, Elise, do you mind? Very highly rated person, you know, she was a real leader. And she will be again. I spoke with Mike Johnson. They're going to put her in a high leadership position. But will you mind staying in Congress? Because we don't want to take any chances. And it's as simple as that. It's basic politics. It's politics 101. She's very popular. She's going to win. And somebody else will probably win, too, because we did very well there. I did very well there. But the word probably is no good. So I really appreciate her doing it. She's doing me a big favor when she does it, because she was all set to go to the United Nations, and she would have dealt with Putin and Zelensky and everybody else, and she would have been very effective. But we really don't want to take any chances because it is tight.
Mr. President,
go ahead, please.
Thank you, sir. You and your team apprehended a top 3 leader in the violent gang MS-13 yesterday, just 30 minutes outside of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, and the judge is trying to stop that shit too for some reason.
Finding, locating, apprehending, and deporting these violent, illegal migrants.
I love this guy. I wish more people would ask questions like that. But thank you. That's very nice. I appreciate it. And they have been. All you're doing is being fair with you when you ask a question in that way. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and all of the rest of law enforcement. And I think we have to include ICE and Border Patrol, you know, Paul of Border Patrol, the whole group from Border Patrol. They're so incredible, and it's, you know, dangerous stuff, hard stuff, and it's really an unforced error, because these people were allowed into this country. They shouldn't have been in this country. They would have never been in this country. We're getting rid of some of the worst criminals in the world. They came out of jails and mental institutions from all over the world. But Pam and the whole group, and Kash, who's here, and it's so good to have him. I see him all over. He's working 24 hours a day, but the job they've done is incredible. And they caught one of the worst criminals in the world, I guess, in terms of evilness. You don't get any worse than the MS-13 guys and the Tren de Aragua guys. It's you can flip a coin. It's a rough group. And, you know, the big thing is they have to be able to do their job. I know I was watching it on television like you, and I saw the home that he lived in a good area, but boy, they had a lot of weaponry in there, right? Highly sophisticated, really brutal stuff. So I appreciate the question, and I just want to thank Kash and Pam and the whole group for doing a fantastic, and the local law enforcement who's been so terrific. Even first responders. So I want to thank everybody, and thank you very much.
Mr. President, I want to say, first of all, happy Women's Month. You do so much for women by, first of all, keeping men out of women's sports, and you platform so many.
That was an easy one. That was crazy.
You platform so many great women, like your Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. You also have Caroline Levitt doing a great job as press secretary. Now Alina will be joining as well. Since Democrats seem to struggle answering this question, I wanted to ask you, what is
a woman?
and why is it important that we understand the difference between men and women?
It's sort of easy to answer for me, because a woman is somebody that can have a baby under certain circumstances. She has a quality. A woman is a person who's much smarter than a man, I've always found. A woman is a person that doesn't give a man even a chance of success. And a woman's a person that in many cases has been treated very badly, because I think that what happens with this crazy issue of men being able to play in women's sports is just ridiculous and very unfair to women and very demeaning to women. And that's got to be about a 94%. I read today it was a 94% issue. And I watched the other day, Congressman, a Democrat congressman, fighting for the fact that men should be allowed to compete.
Look, if you think it's okay for a woman to pad up and then to get fucking smacked around,
because they'll never win another election. That's a big deal. But women are basically incredible people, do so much for our country, and we love our women, and we're going to take care of our women. Yeah.
What was your reason for pardoning Trevor Milton?
Highly recommended by many people. That was taken advantage of. He did a business deal like in Utah, as I have it, I think he was exonerated, and then they brought him into New York, where he had a rough road. I mean, he was exonerated. It was a big celebration. Again, I don't know him, but they say it was very unfair, and they say the thing that he did wrong was he was one of the first people that supported a gentleman named Donald Trump for president. He supported Trump. He liked Trump. I didn't know him, but he liked him. It was in Utah, and they went after him. They went after his family. They went after his businesses. And he was, I believe, exonerated. And then they went after him again, and they brought him this time into Manhattan. And he had nothing to do with Manhattan. And they got him. And I said, that's unfair. There are many people like that. They support Trump, and they went after him. You don't realize this is a vicious group of people that were in this office before us. This is a vicious group. They're violent. What they were doing to people, and you could go story after hundreds and even thousands of stories, and they went after this man. And when I heard about it, I said, nope, not going to happen. They destroyed 5 years of his life. He fought for 5 years of his life, and he did nothing wrong. And he's a good person. And basically, I had these fantastic recommendations about him from people that you know very well, all top-of-the-line people. They thought it was a horrible thing. There are many such cases, by the way, many such cases.
Mr. President, should Americans buy cars now if they want to avoid higher prices?
Thank you, Mr. President. Have you spoken with Vladimir Putin about buying weapons from Iran and from North Korea?
Not about specifically that, no, I haven't.
Well, that seems to be an issue that you want to make important is...
Well, I'm making all issues important. You got a lot of important issues. You also have the children issue that's important. You know, it's a lot of children are living in Russia right now. That's a horrible situation that would have never taken place if I was and the country is being decimated. But, you know, they're losing 2,500 on average young men, mostly men, almost in all cases men, actually, but young men every single week, 2,500, and they're not from our country. They're from Ukraine and they're from Russia, but it's human lives, and if we can get it stopped, then I think we're making progress. But there's a lot of ill will between the parties.
Should Americans buy cars now if they want to avoid higher prices? And then just to follow
No, I don't think so. I think you're going to have a country that's going to boom. I just spoke to Tim Cook of Apple. He's investing $500 billion in the United States, which he would have never...
Tim Cook,
He told me, I would never have done it if you lost the election, and I would have never done it if there wasn't a tariff system that is a incentive for people to come. And remember, there are no tariffs. All you have to do is do your work right here. If you have your company here, if you build your product, make your car, or whatever it is you're making, no tariffs. And we're going to have, I think, Scott, I would say we're close to $4 trillion, even going close to $5 trillion. Now, we haven't had that for years. If you add up years, they haven't invested like that. And here we are in 2 months. We think we're up to close to $5 trillion of investment. They're going to build car plants. They're already building. Many of them have already started. And if you build a car in the United States, and one thing that I just spoke with John Thune about, I just spoke to Mike Johnson about, Speaker. We're going to do something that has never been done in this country before. I'm very proud to say it was my idea. And so sometimes a simple idea, they say, how'd you think of that one? It's so simple, it was never done. If you buy a car in the United States that's made in the United States, if it's manufactured here, when you borrow money, if you borrow money, you have interest payments, we're going to let you deduct the interest payment for income tax reasons.
Oh, wow.
I think that's going to more than pay for itself. I think people are going to be...
Oh, wow. You
they've
got
never
a
had a
deductible.
deduction.
Oh,
You
my
know,
God.
deductions are supposed to be for, like, rich people, and it's unfair to have that. But rich people are... I think I know more about deductions than any human being on earth. But, you know, the truth is that people that are middle-income people that buy a car and actually have to borrow money, they're going to now get an interest deduction on their car if it's made in the United States. If it's made someplace else, that won't take place. But car companies, as you know, are already expanding and building new plants. They've already started. And I think you're going to see numbers. Howard, you're seeing it, and Scott, you're seeing it. You're going to see numbers the likes of which you've never seen before. Yeah, please go.
The vice president is in Greenland right now. Do you have plans to expand U.S. military presence in Greenland? Is that
We get along very well with Greenland. We get along very well with Denmark. We've always had a good relationship. Denmark does a lot of business in the United States. We don't do so much there, but they do a lot of business in the United States. And I think they want to see, I think everybody wants to see that work out. We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security. We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can. If you look at Greenland right now, if you look at the waterways, you have Chinese and Russian ships all over the place. And we're not going to be able to do that. We're not relying on Denmark or anybody else to take care of that situation. And we're not talking about peace for the United States. We're talking about world peace. We're talking about international security. And right now, you look at it, you have warships all over the place going through right along Greenland. We're not going to let that happen. We cannot let that happen. Or if it's going to happen, we have to be protective of our country. And more important, really protection not only of our country, of the world. So Greenland is very important.
Framing issues.
Modern day weaponry
Damn
makes
you,
Greenland
UDP.
100 years
Fuck
ago. Less so, but also,
Would you like to visit Greenland?
if you notice,
the
also
news
some
feed
of
for
those,
this.
you could call them roadways, okay?
well,
They're
it's not-
water
it's not their
roadways,
fault.
but some of those areas are opening up, and they're opening up icebreakers out there. They're opening them, and by just nature, they're opening up, and they're headed right into China, right into Russia, and we have no choice. The answer is he's there with his wonderful wife, Usha. They're there right now. They landed a couple of hours ago, and they will represent us well. But Greenland's very important for the peace of the world, not us, the peace of the entire world. And I think Denmark understands it. I think the European Union understands it. And if they don't, we're going to have to explain it to them.
Would you like to visit? Would you like to visit Greenland, Mr. Trump?
Would you like to visit? Jesus.
Iranian
Would you like to
drones
visit
are attacking
Greenland?
civilians every day. Why are
Fucking
you doing
yelling at us.
Well, we're going to see what happens with that. I'm
Together.
getting reports on that, and we're looking at a report. You're right. They make a lot of drones. Iran makes a lot of drones. They make very effective drones, too. They do very effectively at some things, but Iran is very high on my list of things to watch. And as you probably know, I sent them a letter just recently, and I said, you're going to have to make a decision one way or the other. And we're going to either have to talk and talk it out, or very bad things are going to happen to Iran. And I don't want that to happen.
Or the red pill.
Big preference, and I don't say this through strength or weakness. My big preference is we work it out with Iran. But if we don't work it out, bad things are going to happen to Iran. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Fucking Trump, man. You better do this, or bad things are gonna happen. He always does that sometimes. Especially when it's with one of the countries that's causing shit. Alright, there we go. Fucking Trump at the Oval Office. What is woman? What? Shush. Let's go back to that.
You don't get Pam Bond because he's over the world working the world, the MS, the television, right? Highly sophisticated. So it was crazy.
You've platformed so many great women, like your chief of staff, Susie Wiles. You also have Caroline Levitt doing a great job as press secretary. Now Alina will be joining as well. Since Democrats seem to struggle answering this question, I wanted to ask you, what is a woman and why is it important that
What is a woman and why is it important? Oh shit.
and you platform so many.
That was an easy one. That was very easy.
You platform so many great women, like your chief of staff,
Our
Susie
fucking
Wiles. You also
Supreme
have
Court
Caroline Leavitt doing a
Justice,
great job as press
fucking, what's her
secretary.
dumb
Now Alina
fucking
will be joining as
bitch's
well.
name?
Since Democrats seem to
She's
struggle
definitely a
answering this question, I
DEI
wanted to
hire.
ask
Like,
you,
what the fuck
is
was
a
that
woman and why is it
about?
important that we understand the difference between men and women?
Well, it's
Ketanji
sort of
Brown
easy
Jackson,
to
there
answer
we
for
go.
me because a woman is somebody that can have a baby under certain circumstances. She has a quality. A woman is a person who's much smarter than a man. I've always found. A woman is a person that doesn't give a man even a chance of success. And a woman's a person that in many cases has been treated very badly, because I think that what happens with this crazy issue of men being able to play in women's sports is just ridiculous and very unfair to women and very demeaning to women. And that's got to be about a 94%. I read today it was a 94% issue. And I watched the other day, a congressman, a Democrat congressman, fighting for the fact that men should be allowed to compete essentially in women's sports. And I say, I hope they keep that going, because they'll never win another election. That's a big deal. But women are basically incredible people, do so much for our country, and we love our women, and we're going to take care of our women. Yeah.
And there it is. From 7:36 to 9 minutes. That was like a 2 minute, 1 minute 30 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute and 30 second question. Jesus fuck. All right. On to the next. What do we got? Actually, let's get into this one, since he was talking about Byron Donalds running for campaign Florida governor. I wonder why he's running for Florida governor.
Springs.
Yeah, he was in the House, or what was he? His senator house, I forgot. But now he's running for governor.
Good evening, Florida.
Bonita Springs, Florida.
Good evening, Bonita Springs.
I think I'm gonna speed this up a
If you've
little.
never been to the Sugar Shack, let me tell you that this place is packed. It is packed with people who are ready to fight for the future of Florida, to take our state to the highest heights possible. As I look out, I see family, friends, leaders of Southwest Florida, but more than that, I see the heart of Florida. I see workers, parents, believers, builders, and I'm humbled to stand with all of you today. I had an opportunity to see a couple of my colleagues who I just love. My guy, Corey Mills, out of Central Florida. I love you, brother. I love you. And listen, the only reason I wasn't wearing shades tonight, because, you know, they kind of put my name up on all the stuff, but Kat Kamek, my ride or die, my big sister, love you, Kat. You're amazing. I love you. For the protesters across the street, because they don't sound very good. Let me introduce myself not only to them, but to the people of our great state. My name is Byron Donalds.
Yes, it is.
And I'm running to be your next governor.
Oh, wow.
I'm doing this simply because I actually believe in all of you. I believe in us as a state. And I believe that Florida will continue to be the very best state in America. For those who don't know my story, I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and raised. Brooklyn's always in the house.
Yeah,
And
he's
raised
a
by a
House
single mom.
representative.
Like most single moms, my mom is tough. She taught me the value of hard work. There were no excuses. She believed in my potential and was a school choice mom before school choice was a thing. We didn't have much, but my mom made sure that what we lacked would not hold me back. My mother set me on a path to success, a path I could never repay her for. Mom, thank you. I could never repay you. Thank you. At 17, I left New York on a Greyhound bus, and I came to Florida for opportunity. I went to FAMU in Florida State, earned a degree, go Noles, earned a degree in finance and marketing from Florida State University. I moved to Naples in 2003 and built a career in banking, insurance, and financial services. I'm a husband to my incredible wife, Erica. Stand up, Erica. Everybody loves you. Stand up, Erica. The next First Lady of Florida, everybody. I'm a dad to 3 boys. And I'm a man of faith who knows where my strength lies. I served in the Florida House. I fought in Congress. And now I'm here for you because Florida is my home and you are my people.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad choice, right?
Florida is the best state in America. The best.
Who's he
Although
running
we're
up
the best
against?
state, your insurance bills are still rising. Traffic jams waste your time. And our kids deserve more. I'm not here to talk. I'm here to act. My plan for Florida is bold and clear. Fix the insurance crisis. Build new roads. Finish restoring the Everglades. Make Florida the financial capital of the world. I like that one. And ensure our kids master math, reading, writing, and reasoning. First insurance. I worked 17 years in the financial industry. I get the problems.
Byron Donalds
Homeowners, you're
Campaign.
hurting. Premiums are climbing. Companies flee after storms, and families are stuck. It's not right. And as governor, I will fix it. We will focus on making sure Florida has an insurance market that works for everyone. We will find targeted solutions that will stabilize costs for the people of Florida. I will bring in more
I wonder if
insurers to compete, giving you
DeSantis
real
is
choices.
running up again.
Florida is too great to be priced out. We'll make insurance affordable again. Second, traffic. I've driven these roads. From Miami's gridlock to Orlando's backups, and even here in Southwest Florida, I-75. You guys know that turn right after you get past the Bonita Springs exit slows down? Yeah, I know that. I know that turn too. Frustrates me too. It's not just annoying. It's slowing us all down. As governor, I will build new roads, smart, modern roads, where they're needed most. We'll widen highways, add lanes, and cut through delays that hold projects back. I'll team up with private companies to move fast and save your money. Florida's growing. Our roads should keep pace, not drag us down. Third, the Everglades. This is our treasure, key to our water, our wildlife, and
Yeah, I
our
wonder
identity.
how this is gonna. Yeah, because
We started restoring
yeah, I
it.
wonder
A
how
lot
this
of
is
great
gonna
work
go.
has been done.
This is gonna be
But there's
interesting.
still work that's left. As governor, I'll finish it. We will finish the projects to repair the Everglades once and for all. We will restore the natural flow and protect our farmers and fishermen caught in this mess. The Everglades is Florida's legacy, and we're saving it for the next generation. Fourth, let's make Florida the financial capital of the world. Now, I got some know-how about this. First of all, New York is faltering, and it's really their own fault because their government's a mess. But New York is faltering. High taxes, tough rules, businesses are leaving.
Do I
Florida's
pull
ready.
it? God. God, damn, I'm gonna be an asshole. God damn. I can't. Okay. I'm such
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
Fuck. Again. There has to be another one. I think Twitter.
even know what the word.
Here's the other
Know
one.
what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them.
God damn it.
Because when you have their diverse black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't.
Fucking Hulk, old man. Oh, what a dumb bitch.
Low taxes, light regulations, and a workforce eager to win. Bitcoin will be a part of the state's portfolio. We will cut the commercial lease tax, ease rules, and lead in blockchain and crypto. Florida will create a business court so it becomes easier to settle corporate disputes. Picture it, wealth flowing through our state, lifting every community. Expanding Florida's economy means going from the traditional three-legged stool of agriculture, construction, and tourism to a diverse economy that brings more high-paying jobs today, but the jobs we need for Florida's future. Now, number 5 is education. Our kids are our future, but too many are slipping through the cracks. I'm raising 3 sons. This is personal for me. In 2019, when I was in the State House, I passed the Hope Scholarship, which at the time was the largest expansion of school choice in the country. A year later, we passed universal scholarship accounts. School choice is now a way of life in Florida, and I was there to make sure that it happened. In Florida, parents are at the front of the line, not the bureaucrats. So what's next? Florida is near the top.
Yeah,
in
that's
America
another thing. To allow your kids to be to push these bureaucrat values onto your kids. And then when you ask why your kids are rebelling against your against your teachings, you wonder why. You should look at the school system when that happens.
It comes to K through 12 education. But America is number 37 in the world. So if you are at the top when our nation is close to the bottom, we have more work to do. As governor,
yeah,
my
don't
mission is to move
allow
Florida
the
from the
schools
top
to
10 in America
fucking
to the top 10 in the world.
indoctrinate your children. Like, come on.
President Trump is doing his part by shutting down the Department of Education and moving.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the reason why they're shutting down the Department of Education.
To the states.
Well, some of the
My administration will
functions
zero in on
of
what
it.
counts.
Because it just didn't do
math,
anything.
Reading, writing, and reasoning. Every child should solve equations, read with understanding, write clearly, and think sharply.
Think fast.
We will revamp curriculums
If you can
and provide
dodge a
our
wrench,
kids
you
with
can dodge a
every
ball,
tool
right?
that moves them towards mastery in education. Our kids deserve mastery, not mediocrity.
If you can dodge a throwing
Children
knife,
who
you
are
can
proficient-
dodge anything.
Children who are proficient in core subjects are the future leaders America needs. The future entrepreneurs our economy desires. And the future citizens that will keep America and Florida the envy of the world.
Oh, wow.
So that's my vision for Florida's future. I can be this bold about our future
he
because we
dreams
are
big.
building on a great foundation left to us by Governor Rick Scott.
Apparently,
and
he
Governor
had
Ron
a dream.
DeSantis. We have a great foundation, but we got some other things we got to figure out, like taxes. As Floridians, you should benefit from our growing tax base. Whether it's property taxes, sales taxes, or the commercial rent tax, I've been clear that I will reduce taxes on my fellow Floridians and their businesses. I will work in cooperation with the legislature to ensure that Florida's residents and businesses get the tax breaks that they deserve. Let's talk about safety. And before we get there, we have some of Lee County's finest here with us this evening. Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much.
There it is. Oh, is he done? Oh, no. I thought he was done.
We are the safest state in the country. We are the safest. Our sheriffs and our governor have done a tremendous job keeping our communities safe. As your next governor, I will continue to back the blue. Law enforcement will continue to be honored and respected in Florida. We will continue to lock up criminals.
Lock them
And we will
criminals
continue
up.
to work with President Trump and his administration to remove illegal aliens from Florida.
Look, hold on, let me pick it. Where's the picture?
We will continue to be a law and order state. But let's talk about the thing that everybody loves about our state, freedom. I'm a conservative.
Oh,
In
where'd it go?
2017, as a freshman legislator, I passed the first bill of its kind that allowed parents to have full access to the instructional materials in their child's school.
This is what the government will do to you.
The Democrats, unions, and bureaucrats fought me, but I stood for parental
this
rights.
is a must.
And that bill was the
This
beginning
is
of getting
the
woke
rule.
indoctrination out of our schools.
This is the way.
In 2018, I voted against red flag laws and taking away the gun rights of people between the ages of 18 and 21.
Yeah, we need to get rid of
Let me
those
explain a
red
little bit about
flag
that. At
laws,
that time in the legislature,
especially in California
Marjorie Stoneman
as
Douglas just
well.
happened. It was a tragedy in our state. It was a tragedy. I was told that if I did not vote for that bill, I was going to lose appropriations. All my bills will be canceled.
Yeah, that was...
But I didn't care because constitutional rights are never up for discussion.
Yeah.
In 2020, when COVID was shutting down the country, I was running to represent Southwest Florida in Congress. I went to every city council and every county commission meeting and opposed mask mandates.
Oh yeah, by the way.
You know, at the time, some people told me that this stance would cost me the Republican nomination for Congress. But once again, I didn't care. I stood for medical freedom of the people of Southwest Florida. And by the way, I did win that race for Congress. I have proven time and again that I will defend your Congress against any threat. This is the free state of Florida. And
The
as
free
your next
state of
governor, it will
Florida.
remain. You know, at the time, some people told me that this stance would cost me the Republican nomination for Congress. But once again, I didn't care.
I'm ready.
I stood for medical freedom of the people of Southwest Florida. And by the way, I did win that race for Congress. I have proven time and again that I will defend your Congress against any threat. This is the free state of Florida.
He is fighting for
And
your
as
rights
next governor, it will
in
remain
Florida.
the free state of Florida.
Make Florida great again.
Brother, love Miami-Dade. This campaign is about you, the people of Florida. It's about the dad and son stretched thin by insurance.
Make
in
Florida
Miami,
great
stuck in traffic.
again.
It's about the retired in Southwest Florida just wanting clean water. It's about the teacher in Jacksonville hoping her students thrive. You are the reason why I'm running. I fought for you in the State House, I fought for you in Congress, and I will fight for you as your next governor.
Oh wow, big speech, big speech. Very good speech.
The first political event I ever went to was a Tea Party rally in Naples, Florida.
All
By
the tea? Are you
Where
going
Diane
to
Harris?
dump all
I know
the
she's in here.
tea?
So where is she? Diane, come here. Come here, Diane. Hold on a second. Come here, Diane.
Oh, he's getting Diane. Diane! Come on! Uh-oh, Diane's up there now.
Let me restart. The first
Please!
political event I ever went to was a Tea
Diane,
Party
say a
rally
few
in
good
Naples, Florida.
words.
And if you don't believe me, this is the lady I met.
You're blocking everything.
Okay.
We couldn't see you back there.
Okay, so this is new.
Nervous.
Okay, I don't usually do this ever, but
Yeah.
when I met Byron,
Sounds like it.
I ended up having him at a meet and greet, which I didn't really know much about that. But anyways, he ends up. I got 20 people in the house, and we're in the back, you know, waiting for me to introduce him. And anyways, he's like, don't worry. I've been going to Toastmasters, and the key thing is you just speak from your heart. And so I spoke from my heart, and my heart is overwhelmingly proud of this man. He has taught me so much, and a lot of it has had to do with his faith. So there's no question. He speaks of his faith first, I mean, it's the same thing with President Trump. There's a reason why we are where we are today. It's for people like Byron to rise. And also on top of that, President Trump is bringing up the younger generation. And that's what's going to save us, is solid, smart, common sense, faithful, proud, and who love everybody. He's from Florida. And
He's from
I just
Florida.
love you, and I'm so proud of you, and I've really enjoyed being a part of your journey from the beginning, because it really did mean everything. I mean, taking those signs and knocking on the doors and sweating our butts off together, you know, and it's raining. And I've spoken to people here today who have their first experience with you. And their first experience, one gentleman said, it was 9 p.m. at night, and it's raining, it's thundering, and this guy comes by his door and knocks, and he's like, not sure who he is. And eventually Byron says, well, do you know Byron Donalds? And the guy's like, no. And he goes, well, now you do. I'm right here. And so he had like a 20-minute conversation, and then he invited him into his home. And throughout all the time that we've been on campaigns with Byron, it's those experiences, and he never forgets you. He'll never forget his conversation with any of you. He is the man for Florida. He is going to be the greatest governor, and of course, eventually, he will be president.
The glow up. Whoa. The overwhelming hype and support. Wow.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I love you, and I'm so thrilled for you. Mwah.
Wow. Good speech.
That's a really cool endorsement. My first event was 16 years ago, and I got to tell you, 16 years later, I never thought I would be here. I started in politics as an activist. I became a legislator fighting for school
why
choice
did you
and protecting
say
your
that?
constitutional
Don't
rights.
say that.
I went to Congress where I battled the Democrats on Capitol
Don't
Hill
say that
and the radical
fucking
media
word,
on
I
their
hate it.
networks. Over the last 2 years, I was campaigning for the America First agenda because
Yeah,
that's
we
where
need
the
to
fight
fix
was.
this.
I knew Florida was red. Everybody knew Florida was red. You guys took care of that one. But I was all over the country in every battleground state because we had to win the most consequential presidential election of our lifetimes. So the fight took me to battleground states to make sure that Donald J. Trump became the 47th president of the United States. Along the way, President Trump and I developed a strong friendship. He watched me battle the left, take on all comers, and help him make America great again. President Trump has endorsed me to be the next governor of Florida.
Only now.
And he's endorsed me because he knows I will lead with courage, conviction, and common sense. And that's what our state needs to remain the blueprint for what is possible in America. As your next governor, I'll fix what's broken while building on what makes Florida the best state in America. To win this campaign, I'm asking for your vote. But more importantly, like Diane, I'm asking for your endorsement. Florida,
this is not what you want.
Florida is a big state, and with your support, we're gonna fix our insurance markets. We're gonna fix our transportation issues. We're gonna finish repairing the Everglades. We are going to make Florida the financial capital of the world. And we are gonna position our future, our children, on the pathway to be the leaders Florida and America needs.
Yeah, this
Together,
is what you got.
we will get this done. Together, Florida will continue to be the best state in America and show the other 49 how to get the job done.
There it is.
God bless you. God bless Florida. And God bless the United States of America.
There it goes. There's Byron Donalds. That's a pretty decent speech. He's running for governor in Florida now. Running up against fucking what's it, DeSantis now. So there you have it.